When it comes to radical Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, I see someone who should not be in Congress at all. I'm just going to be frank about that. She spouts baseless conspiracy theories, and she harasses survivors of mass shootings, as she has done with David Hogg of the Parkland High School shooting. And she has not done a single thing to help the everyday lives of Americans. She hasn't helped make them better at all, really. Now, there is a way to describe someone as vile as Marjorie Taylor Greene, and those words are, I just lost those words that I was going to say here. She's an, uh,
It's a bit of an
Ornery old bitch.
that.
hey, thanks, Alistair. Those were the words I was thinking of. But when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you want to trigger her, you need to call her and Donald Trump what they are: insurrectionists. Don't believe me? Take a look at this.
Democrats and dishonest people in the media every single day accuse President Trump of waging an insurrection and accuse many of us of waging an insurrection, and you're doing nothing but lying and selling the lies of the Democrats, all for campaigns and elections. Shame on every single person that has done that. Shame on you. You need to tell the truth. You have the freedom of press, one of the greatest rights in this entire world. And anyone that puts the word insurrectionist, calls President Trump an insurrectionist, and calls any of us an insurrectionist is a liar, and you do not deserve the power that you possess. Shame on you. Let me give you guys a little history lesson, okay? When President Trump was inaugurated, Antifa and leftist rioters nearly burned down Washington, D.C. Did you call it an insurrection? No. And then the American people who pay for elections with their tax dollars actually own the elections and have the right to care about their elections, election integrity, and the results of their elections. When they came to Washington and protested, all of you called it an insurrection. And then when Joe Biden was inaugurated and this entire Capitol complex was surrounded with 30,000 National Guard troops, none of you stood there and called that an insurrection. Oh no. You all stayed silent. And what?
Okay, so let me start off by saying this. I don't care what side of the political aisle you are on, violent protest is never the answer for anything. I do not give a flying fuck if you don't like Joe Biden or if you don't like Trump. Violence is not the answer, plain and simple. And if you think it is, you're a fucking moron. And honestly, you need the book thrown at you. Now, I know I probably just lost Gen Zers and MAGA, probably. So, for this little bit, I have a prop. All right, so for Gen Z, a book is this thing older people read. It's basically Kindle for older people. MAGA, a book has pages in it, and you read it like you claim to read the Bible. I just wanted to be sure I wasn't losing anybody, that's all. Now, as far as Marjorie Taylor Greene's claim that nobody reported on these riots, she is sorely mistaken. Because there were reports, I found a few from NBC News, from CBS News, and from CNN, all dated between January 20th and January 21st. And let's take a look at some of those. All right, so these I actually found on the internet, and I decided to get these screen captures just to show you guys. We have one right here from CNN Politics, dated January 21st, 2017. saying police injured, more than 200 arrested at Trump inauguration protests in D.C. And there's something here I would like to point out when it comes to Antifa. Antifa is an idea. What Trump did was turn that idea into a fictional group to become a boogeyman for his supporters. So naturally, Dunce Cap Green here decided to capitalize on that. And given she's an idiot, she fully believes it. But there's one thing I would like to point out. Protesters smashed storefronts and bus stops, hammered out the windows of a limousine, and eventually launched rocks at a phalanx of police lined up in an eastbound crosswalk. Officers responded by launching smoke and flashbang devices, which could be heard blocks away, into the street to disperse the crowds. Pepper spray and other controlled devices were used to control the criminal actors and protect persons and property, police said. Yeah, I know the highlighting's not good on here. I don't know how to use it properly with the mouse. Bear with me. From NBC News, dozens arrested in anti-Trump protests around inauguration. Police used pepper spray to disperse hundreds of protesters gathered outside a pro-Trump dinner billed as a deplorable, oh Jesus Christ, on the eve of his swearing in. And obviously, they talk about it here as well. They brought up that they ignited small fires. Again, totally unnecessary, uncalled for. Fuck you if you believe that's a good idea. And then here's one from January 21st, 2017. Trump inauguration protest damages parts of downtown Washington. Protesters registered their rage against the new president Friday in a chaotic confrontation with police who used pepper spray and stun grenades in a melee just blocks from Donald Trump's inaugural parade route. Scores were arrested for trashing property and attacking officers. Officers arrested 217 protesters, CBS affiliate WUSA reports. 6 police officers were hurt during the protests, including 3 who were hit in the head with flying objects. All of them have minor injuries. For the love of God, don't engage in violent protest. It gets you nowhere. The bulk of the criminal acts happened at 10:30 a.m. when 400 to 500 people on the 13th Street destroyed property, interim police chief Peter Newsham said. The protesters were armed with crowbars and threw objects at people and businesses, destroying storefronts and damaging vehicles. Police used pepper spray, I'm getting tongue-tied, to diffuse the situation. There were protests in other cities, including Portland, where protesters and police clashed and police used flashbangs and tear gas, CBS affiliate KOIN reports. Again, get better or don't do this shit. I cannot stress this enough. So this brings me back to Marjorie Taylor Greene and her initial complaint. She doesn't like the fact that she and Trump are referred to as insurrectionists, or any Republican who are serving as enablers, serving as insurrectionists. So I have a little something I want to say directly to you, Marge. Can we get a zoom in, please? Ah, that's better. Thank you. Marge. David Croft, that damn progressive. How the fuck are you? Hate to break it to you, but you're an insurrectionist. I don't know how else to break it to you. You are. You engaged in this. Remember this clip?
Just finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board, and we already have a lot of people engaged. Okay, stay.
That's you, Marge. Like it or not, you're an insurrectionist in our book. And if you don't like that, maybe resign.